Hey, Centra, thanks so much for joining us once again for Wellness Wednesday. We are on episode 6 of COVID Wellness this week. And man, Aubrey, we are getting into just kind of the long stretch here.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it is right. And I think everybody is adjusting a little bit, but then tired, and it just seems very kind of long in the tooth right now. And so we don't have a whole lot of updates. We've done a lot of updating over the last 6 weeks, and a lot of things that have changed. We've just kudos to our caregivers for being flexible and for just the agility that you have shown in this time. So today we just want to kind of talk about what we have going on to help you tread water right now. The good thing is it looks like maybe in the next few weeks, as we look towards the end of April and the 1st of May, that we're going to start to introduce maybe some normal operational things back into the picture. And so we'll begin kind of this phase out. But as of today, we're still in the thick of it. So let's talk about some of the things that probably our caregivers are feeling right now, Aubrey. I'm mindful of just mental, like today was a little bit of a crummy day for me mentally, even though I'm still coming into the office. And so I'm mindful of just the mental strain that this is taking on all of our caregivers.
Absolutely.
What do we have that we can be mindful of in this time that we can remind them about?
So I know we have talked about this probably every session, but just it really speaks to the importance of our mental well-being, to Stephanie's point, in making sure that each one of our caregivers understands that we do have some excellent tools and resources at your fingertips to take care of you in this season, to take care of myself. They're here for all of us to activate and use. So some of those things are our Employee Assistance Program, our EAP, great service provided to us through our partners at HealthWorks. They are they're continuing to offer services throughout this time. And remember, it is available to you as the caregiver, but also to anyone who is living in your home can tap into that resource as well. The other great thing about their tools that are available right now at this moment is they're able to do visits virtually if that's something that you need or prefer at this time. Feel like it's safer. That absolutely is available to you. So just want to make sure that you utilize that resource and remember that it is there for you in this season.
Yeah, really just taking time out for yourself, even though it might seem like with flexing down or with a lower census that things are not as busy, but still that mental aspect, we need to take care of ourselves. So going for a walk, making sure we're getting plenty of sleep, that we're building relationships in this time, and that we're continuing, even though we're social distancing and we're separated, that we're reaching out via social media or just picking up the phone and having a good phone conversation, and continuing to connect. Relationships are super important. And I'm also mindful too of maybe some of the financial strain that our caregivers might be feeling right now as well. And I know that we have a few things maybe on the horizon to offer that we're working around. Aubrey, what are some of those things?
So we have tools and resources available to us actually through our wellness program. Lots of good information. If you log into the wellness portal, there is all kinds of financial information available. Again, looking back at our EAP partner, they also have a work-life website that has a toolkit around financial well-being. But one of the things that you might recall is a part of our wellness program this year is completing certain specific measures around it's called Money Basics for Members in our wellness program, and get some points for that as well, which kind of segues nicely into a new little bit of information that you will see in this week's email we're kind of transitioning our old format of a wellness or well-being newsletter that came out virtually via email into what we're calling our 5 pillars of well-being. And if you recall Stephanie and I talking about those earlier this year when we kicked off our new wellness program, financial was one of those pieces. So you'll notice some information about how you can look into those resources. But also on that is your physical well-being, professional, community, and social. And there's some really great tips and resources available to you on that sheet that you'll find attached to our weekly email this week and in the coming weeks. Just information and ways that you can stay active and engaged during this season specifically. And as Stephanie mentioned, we transition out of that in the future. It will continue to go along with us in those seasons as well. So just some supportive tools that you can use to help you in your well-being journey.
Right, because we are going to come out of this.
That's right.
Yay! And as we do, we want to be mindful, again, as we talk about all the different pillars of well-being, we want to be mindful that we are going to come out of this, that there is going to be a tomorrow. And so we want to care for ourselves and all the aspects of well-being as we transition back into what life will look like post-COVID. Yeah. And so then I think that's a good reminder for us as well that some of the measures that we've put in place while COVID has somewhat taken over for now is we're reminded that the measures, the safety measures of like washing your hands and not touching your face and making sure that you're social distancing, that those things will likely continue, but those are also just good practices for us in general. Maybe we're not as mindful other times of the year or when we're not in a pandemic about washing our hands or not touching our face. So these are things that are going to carry on with us and things that you can continue to be aware of and to focus on after we are out of the pandemic. Aubrey, anything else that we're forgetting?
I think that's mostly it. We don't want to keep repeating ourselves, but as a reminder, we have updated our wellness program to make sure that you have the tools that are accessible right now to complete those requirements. We want you to participate in that if at all possible. So we encourage you to check that out. But otherwise, I think we've reviewed most of the things that we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, we have. Centra, thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you for joining us each and every week. We certainly are thinking about you. We are grateful for you. And as always, we want to remind you in the next week to think well, to do well, and to be well. Have a great week.